Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your June 5th weekly wrap-up. I'm Commissioner Shakira Johnson, your DeKalb County District 4 Commissioner and presiding officer. As you know, these weekly wrap-ups are kind of just short videos where I talk about some of the things that were happening this past week, and maybe some things previous things to come in the future. So top of mind this week, we had our nighttime committee of the whole, or nighttime cow, as we affectionately call it, on Tuesday night at Lew Walker. We had great turnout from the community. That is why we have these nighttime meetings twice a year, so that the community has an opportunity, especially those who work during the day, they have an opportunity to attend one of our meetings and kind of see what happens and participate and let their voices be heard. It's a really good, robust discussion from the community. And then we rolled into a presentation from our Planning and Sustainability team to give us an update on the text amendment, to give an overview of the text amendment, and just really remind us of all the different parts of the text amendment, and then also a preview of next steps. And then the commissioners had the first opportunity, really, for all of the commissioners to weigh in and be a part of the discussion since the last revision to the text amendment was presented in January. This was an opportunity, again, for all of the commissioners to weigh in and voice their opinions on things that they'd like to see revised, things they agree with, and just we were kind of short on time, but we were able to, each commissioner who chose to was able to voice in front of the public, in front of the Planning and Sustainability team, where their thoughts on the text amendment and give some proposed revisions. So that was a healthy discussion, again, for all the commissioners who chose to do that in that manner. So the next steps, so from that discussion, the Planning Sustainability team will provide us with a revised, I think this will be revision number 4 to the text amendment for us to vote on, or hear at least, at the June 23rd public hearing. That is the next time the text amendment is coming before the Board of Commissioners. So June 23rd, we'll get another revision, and that would be a public hearing and an opportunity for us to take action. Likely it could be another deferral, but it could be a vote. We, don't really know what the majority of the commission wants to do right now, and especially since we haven't seen what that revision actually looks like based off of the discussion we had Tuesday night. Other moving parts in relation to data centers. The moratorium on data centers in DeKalb County is still in place. So that moratorium actually expires June 23rd, but we have it on our agenda for a public hearing this coming Tuesday, June 9th. I fully expect the Board of Commissioners will extend that moratorium. There was discussion on how long that extension might be. I've heard anywhere from another 100 days. I think we had a couple commissioners even float the idea of a year extension of the moratorium. But I have not heard any commissioners say they are open to letting the moratorium expire. So I expect the moratorium will be extended on Tuesday, June 9th, the public hearing, and then we will vote on it. Again, I expect it to be extended. For how long that will be, we won't really know until we have that discussion this coming Tuesday. But so those are kind of the key dates for the data center discussion. So please keep tuning in for that discussion, as it's always moving. And we're trying to make sure we're really listening to the public. We've had a lot of citizens' comments. We've had a lot of emails and just robust discussion. So we're trying to take that all in, incorporate it as much as we can into a zoning ordinance. Some of the items are not quite right for a zoning ordinance, but can be built into the plan reviews and the compliance pieces once a data center, if a data center is ever built, you'd have other opportunities outside of the zoning ordinance to regulate it. Other topics I wanted to bring up, there is a town hall this coming Wednesday, June 10th, 6:30 p.m. at 178 Sam Street, which is where we're holding our Board of Commissioners meetings in the last year. And the purpose of the town hall, the administration has proposed 2 rate increases. One, stormwater rate increase, which would be a 10% this year, another 10 by 10. So that would be an additional $12 a year on the stormwater. And then they're also proposing a sanitation rate increase. So I believe the first numbers we saw were a little higher. We requested they go back and try and level set and make it less of an impact in that first year. So I'm not quite certain yet, because we haven't seen those numbers, what that final proposal will look like. But please tune in for that town hall this coming Wednesday, June 10th, 6:30 p.m. If you can't be there in person, we'll have opportunities for you to view it virtually. And then there's public hearings scheduled for the millage rate. So I mentioned last week that we are in millage rate season, as it's time to get all that information to the tax commissioner so the tax bills can go out on time. So there are 3 public hearings scheduled. There will be 2 public hearings on June 23rd. One will be in the morning at our Board of Commissioners meeting. One will be in the evening of June 23rd. And then the third and final public hearing on the millage rate will be July 7th, which will also be the same day that we would vote on the proposed millage rate, in order for us to meet our deadlines and get our tax rolls and tax information to the tax commissioner and get the tax bills out so that we have the funding that we need to keep this county rolling. So those are important key dates to keep in mind. And then I also just briefly want to talk a little bit about the work happening along Memorial Drive corridor. So as you are aware, there is a Memorial Drive corridor master plan that my predecessor funded and started implementing, and it's a good master plan. A lot of community input went into that, so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. So we're pushing to make sure that those key items are getting completed. So we actually have an agenda item coming up. It'll be technically on our agenda on Tuesday. It's item 2026-0777 if you want the agenda number. But the purpose of that agenda item is for the fabrication of the branding and gateway signage. So this comes directly out of that master plan and the work done in the community conversations. So there will be new gateway signage. So this item is to have that fabricated. But before we do a final vote on it, it will go to the PEX committee for discussion. Once it comes out of the PEX committee, hopefully in the next couple weeks, then we'll come to the full board for a vote, and work can start on that fabrication. So that is really, really exciting to see something concrete come out of all the work that's been going on into the corridor. And hopefully within the next year, we'll actually have the signage fabricated and installed, and you can actually see all that work as part of that hard work coming to fruition. So I'm really excited about that. I'll also note that my team takes part of a monthly Memorial Drive corridor conversation with internal departments. And these are departments that include our police department, who gives us safety updates. We have our planning sustainability team, Decide DeKalb, community development administration team, the DeKalb chamber, that we all get on the call and are laser focused on implementing the master plan for the corridor and just talking through issues that we're hearing about and things that we need to improve along the corridor. And then the other really key item I wanted to touch base on for Memorial Drive corridor is our partnership with District 4 partnership with the DeKalb Chamber, who is working with the business community to see if they will support either a business improvement district, BID, or a community improvement district, a CID. And either one of those, kind of the gist of those is the businesses would tax themselves, and that money that they tax themselves then gets put back into the corridor for beautification and increased safety. And it's a mechanism that's been successful in other parts of DeKalb County and metro area. So the first step is a feasibility study to see if they're willing to participate in it, and if it can have the impact we're hoping it can have. So we're hoping to have the results from that feasibility study probably in the next 6 months or so, but that work has begun. really excited about that, and that if that is what the businesses choose and buy into, that can have a really strong impact on the corridor and make it a safer, more inviting environment along the corridor. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is a slightly longer wrap up. We had a lot going on this week that I wanted to touch base on. But leave me a note in the comment if you like these wrap ups, if you'd like to see something else, if you have some specific comments, please reach out. I'll post best ways to reach us at the District 4 office. And thank you and have a blessed and safe weekend. Have a good day, everybody.